Now let's look at example 3.3.3. In this example, we want to test whether price of product is significant to sales revenue using t-test approach at alpha 0.05. In this case, the independent variable that we want to test is price or x2, where the corresponding parameter for x2 that is beta 2. Okay, if we want to say that x2 is significant to y, okay, x2 significant to y, so the statement that we need to construct, that is beta 2 here should be not equals to 0. So this is the claim now. Okay, and since the inequality used here that is not equals to, so that's why the claim here is under H1. So in this example, we use t-test. So t-test is under traditional approach, where hypothesis testing consists of 5 steps. So for step 1, we need to construct the hypothesis. Okay, and based on the statement given, okay, the claim here is under H1. So we can construct H0, where H0 is beta 2 equals to 0. So now complete step 1. So now we go to step 2. In step 2, we want to get the value for t-test. And we can get the t-test value from this set of price. Okay, here. Okay, the price here is x2. So by taking the value at 4 decimal places, so now t-test equals to negative 2.3759. So complete step 2. So now we go to step 3. In step 3, we want to establish the test criterion by determining the rejection region and critical value. So in step 2, we use the test. So we plot the distribution. Okay. So to determine the rejection region, we can look at the inequality used in H1 that is not equals to, means that this is under two-tailed test, so we have 2 rejection regions here. Okay, and since we have 2 rejection regions, so our alpha here needs to be divided by 2. So in this case, our alpha is 0.05. So divide by 2, so we get the probability for rejection region here, that is 0.025. Okay, same, this is 0.025. Okay, so we have 2 rejection regions, means we have 2 critical values that lies on the negative area, that is negative t 0.025 with a decrease of freedom no. Okay, and another one that is t 0.025 with a decrease of freedom no. And in general, for this test, okay, the critical value that is plus minus t alpha over 2 with a decrease of freedom no. And no here actually is equals to n is the number of data minus, okay, k plus 1, where k here is referred to how many independent variable that we have. Okay, for this case, okay, for this example, we have n here is equal to 20, k here, okay, that is 2. So n minus 3, okay, we get the decrease of freedom here is equal to 17. Okay, the same is 17. And by using statistical table, the value for critical value now, that is 2.1098. Okay, so complete step 3. So now we go to step 4. Okay, in step 4, we want to make decision on H0, and the rejection rule here is if t-test less than negative t critical value, or if t-test greater than T critical value, we reject H0. And here by comparing t-test and T critical value, we can see that the t-test here is lies on the rejection region. So we can see that when we compare them, we can say t-test here is less than negative T critical value. Means that the decision rule here is reject H0. Okay. So now we go to step 5. Okay. Based on step 4, the decision is reject H0. Okay. So in this case, we accept the claim. Okay. So the conclusion here is at alpha equal to 0.05, there is evidence from the data to suggest that price is a significant independent variable to sales revenue. Now we are in example 3.3-4. In this example, we want to test whether advertising expenditure is significant to sales revenue using p-value approach at alpha 0.05. In this example, the independence variable that we want to test is advertising expenditure or X3. Okay, where the corresponding parameter for X3 that is beta 3. If we want to say that advertising expenditure that is X3 significant to Y, means that beta 3 here must be not equals to 0. So this is the claim now. And if we look at the claim, the negative use here is not equals to. So that's why the statement here is under H1. Okay, this is the claim. Note that the approach used here is p-value. So there are 4 steps in the hypothesis testing. Step 1, we construct the hypothesis. Okay, the claim here is under H1. So H0 here, that is beta 3 equals to 0. So complete step 1. So now we go to step 2. Step 2, that is we want to get p-value. So we can get the p-value from the coefficient table. Okay, the advertising here that is X3 is that the p-value for X3 here is given by this part. Okay, so by taking the value at 4 decimal places, so the p-value that is 0.0173. So complete step 2. So now we go to step 3. Step 3 is we want to make a decision for H0. And by using the standard rule for p-value approach, okay, when we compare p-value here with the value of alpha, we can see that p-value here is less than alpha. So the rule here, the decision here that we take, that is reject H0. So complete step 3. So now we go to step 4. Step 4 is we want to make a conclusion for the test. So at alpha 0.05, there is evidence from the data to suggest that advertising expenditure that is X3 is significant independent variable to sales revenue.